Welcome, my 308 subscribers, everyone who has stopped watching Rampage but wants to know if this one is worth the watch or not, and to those of you who are craving burgers right now, have a Trill Burger. Welcome to my review of AEW Rampage for the January 13th show. Let's begin. So the show starts with Darby versus Juice for the TNT Championship right away. And these two have like a typical TV match with some Darby bumps and some awesome spots at the end. It's the usual run-of-the-mill, evenly matched start, the heel dominates, slows the match down, babyface comes back and then wins the match by surprise. It is the quintessential TV match, and that might be a spoiler for my rating, but it was like pretty good. It's the vegetables we need to eat in between the bangers that we get. And also the crowd was a bit dead because they just like came after the insane ladder match at Dynamite that we had. So I like Juice's offense. This might be the most he's shown for I think ever. I love the leg lariat, the lariat on Darby while he's seated on the table. So like Juice jumps from the ropes, as well as the jackhammer. His new character is like awesome. It's more noticeable from a crowd. Sets him apart more. His old gimmick was like a Bo Dallas, Kofi Kingston sort of mix. And he was just like so generic. But now shit. He has a character, he has some nice moves. Now he just needs a push. Like from anywhere. Be it from New Japan, from AEW, or even from Impact. Darby does the usual stuff, but this match was more for Juice to be showcased. The finish is awesome and it comes out of nowhere because Juice tries to superplex Darby, but Darby turns it into a scorpion death drop, avalanche from the top rope. He does the coffin drop for the win. Darby retains. So yeah, for the match itself, it's like TV main event. As I said, the quintessential TV match. As for the post-match celebration, Sting comes out, and as we all know, Sting is retiring in 2023 on contract expiry. So this man has had a good run in AEW, considering his age, and he'll probably lose to Darby in the send-off. It's going to piss WWE fans because they want him to lose to their people or maybe like wrestle forever as an old dude in Saudi Arabia, whatever, not in defeat, just like The Undertaker or Stone Cold. Come on, man. Are we gonna have those guys wrestle in their 70s in wheelchairs? Or on their canes? Yeah, fuck off. Although I don't think this will be on Revolution, I think it's gonna be like on the next pay-per-view after. Like at Double or Nothing. I think that's a better place to retire Sting. Have Darby defend the belt one more time against someone else. They'll be all good by then, or like maybe have it like later on in the year. But yeah, their chemistry will probably be high after the match with Muta. Darby's gonna be doing the selling there, I think. He's gonna be the one thrown around to make everyone look good. But they're starting the build right here. Because Sting doesn't come out with Darby, he like enters after. And there's just like this simmering tension that I can feel. He kind of celebrates Darby too much, and it's gonna come when we least expect. But yeah, again, TV main event. Match is okay. I like the ending. Top 3 spots of the match, the coffin drop lariat. Number 2 are the chops, while Juice and Darby are on the ropes, followed by the rope lariat. And number 1 is the scorpion death drop from the top turnbuckle. So after this is Powerhouse Hobbs's promo. And the man can cut a promo. But this is like too short. And this man is like long overdue for another program. Ideally against Darby, but maybe after he beats Sting. Like this dude is one of your originals. He can cut a promo, he can go in the ring, do something with him. Like, he probably, most likely, will never leave. I think he's AEW like for life, given his age and like the name value. But come on, use the guy. He can probably be in a better program than Starks is with Action Andretti. So yeah, after this is a much better segment. And it's the Acclaimed, like, celebratory segment after their feuds. And this time it's them, like, cementing their scissors on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And we all know that that wasn't possible. Like, it takes more fame to be in there. Maybe it's, like, not worth it to pay for a spot. And it'll just be silly. Come on. As much as we love these guys, they're not going to get a spot yet. Max Caster's rap here was pretty unrelatable for me. American politics, American scandals. But I did like the line about we never had to sell for blood money, as a reference to the rumors of WWE selling to Saudi Arabia, which has turned out to not happen yet. So it might still come true. This whole thing happens on the ramp, and Bowens has really come to his own. He's the promo guy of the Acclaimed. Now both of them have their thing. Bowens cuts a great promo, and when they are about to dip their hands on the cement, Ass Boys come out. They daddy issues their way through the segment, and they demand to get the spot in the Walk of Fame instead. Billy Gunn relents, but as the Ass Boys are about to dip their hands in the cement, they're pantsed and they're pushed on the cement. Ass first for Ass Boys. This is actually a really clever way to explain away why the spot, the tile on the Walk of Fame isn't there. It's because the Ass Boys ruined it. That's genius. This segment was very sports entertainment, but they made it work. They explained it away. Now everything's back to status quo. I'm expecting the Ass Boys to be the next contender since they're forever rivals. But who knows, FTR might be back. They might just be working us. Maybe after their break, they might have a match at Revolution for the titles, maybe 3-way. That would be nice. But for me, the Acclaimed are still too over to have lose. So yeah, they did a really good job at covering their asses when it comes to this segment, unlike the Ass Boys. So after this is the Mogul Affiliate segment. So Swerve cuts a promo where he clout chases with a bunch of rappers. This works a lot better as a heel, and so awkward when he was a babyface. When he was a babyface, this was just this seemed just like promoting for clout chasing. It was more apparent. But as a heel, it makes sense. It makes everything the Acclaim said about him true, and it's there's more purpose to this, since he has an actual rapper in his faction in Rick Ross. So after this is House of Black, so the faction Kings of the Black Throne of House of Black against Eddie Kingston and Ortiz. So yeah, glad these guys are having a second win in AEW. I'm glad that they gave it a chance, that they're coming back. Brody was never leaving, but yeah, Malachi is the prize goose here. I'm glad that he's back, and they're so over. They're next level over. Even if they're heels, they're just so cool. Those are merch sellers. The story of the match is that there's friction between the team of Eddie and Ortiz, and they visibly show this throughout the match. They had this happen a couple of weeks ago on Rampage, as well as just the promos. Clearly, Malachi is playing mind games on Eddie, since Eddie's a mule, stubborn, a bit dumb, and is all anger. His anger clouds his judgment. So yeah, this was a storyteller if I've ever seen one, because Eddie, after being tagged in, never tags Ortiz. And I think this is a bit dumb. That's why I said Eddie's a bit dumb, because if you don't trust someone, why not use them as cannon fodder? Yeah, we get storytelling moments like Malachi and Eddie missing their finishers and squatting face to face in front of each other. There was a nice variety of moves by both teams, or by Kings of the Black Throne and Eddie Kingston. Because Ortiz is pretty much out. He never gets tagged back in, and that's with storytelling reasons. Heels cut the ring in half in an interesting way with those fun beatings. No rest holds here. And Eddie puts himself in the underdog position and he doesn't have to. This is so good. As for the climax of the match, it's Buddy Matthews running in with a chair. He does this thing where this thing that he does with other faster competitors where he creeps into the ring and then they end up face to face. But Eddie has none of this and steps on Buddy's chair. He scares him away. Julia's right there, I think, according to plan. And Eddie's about to hit her with a chair until Ortiz goes for the save, and then we get Ortiz breaking. There is no more friendship here. House of Black have succeeded. Zinch is strong with House of Black. Great fucking storytelling. And then for the ending, they keep going. Because Eddie and Ortiz are arguing. Malachi is right behind Ortiz. He is about to go for the Black Mass, but he throws Ortiz out of the way. Black Masses Eddie. Ortiz tries to fight Malachi off, but he's deterred So Eddie doesn't even see this since he's knocked out. Malachi goes for the pin and wins the match. And after this, as I think like Eddie's gaining back his consciousness, he tells Ortiz, "Good job, you did good," and further destroys the friendship. This is like so good. Might be the best feud to come out of this show. TV main event, pay-per-view undercard match. I was never drawn by how this all started. I was never drawn by the promos, the real awkward promos between Ortiz and Eddie. But this match makes me want to watch the conclusion of this feud in the main show of Revolution. Like it has to. This can't be in the pre-show. Really good match, really good feud. Glad House of Black is back on TV. So after this is the Jade Cargill promo, and it's a very simple promo. It's like dissing Red Velvet, who is probably going to be Jade's number 50, and I don't care about this, but I love how Sierra Leone, the girl who they never wanted in their faction, is the last one remaining. And I'm pretty sure that she's going to play a hand in like Jade's first loss after the 50th win, I think. And it's going to be glorious. But like a lot other people could have this TV time. I mean, come on, like the TBS champion isn't on TBS, she's on TNT. Or I guess I would rather see her here than Dynamite. So yeah, just like get the belt off Jade already. And don't put the women's title on her right away, for fuck's sake. She doesn't do as much as like the women that follow her right here. Even if Anna Jay and Tay Mello aren't that like good in the ring, they aren't Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker, Ruby Soho, or like anyone like that, or like Athena, but they can deliver. I think when you least expect them to, like at the main event. Spoilers. So after this is segment of the night, no question. It's Paul Walter Hauser's segment. So yeah, this is segment of the night, and I'm gonna explain why. I'm like gonna walk you through the segment. We're like 12 minutes in the review, so why the fuck not? Okay, so it's Paul Walter Hauser from Richard Jewell fame, as well as Cobra Kai. He's not like the most famous actor, but he just won the Golden Globes for Best Supporting Actor in his show Blackbird. And it's like a critically acclaimed show, but it's on Apple TV. You have to be like Ted Lasso good if you want to get famous off of like that platform. But I think it can. You have Ted Lasso to draw the people. And then like the great shows like Breaking Bad didn't get famous until like the later seasons. Just like the... what's that sci-fi show that I like? Shit. The Expanse. And I don't think Game of Thrones got famous until like season 3 or 4. Like literally, when I was like watching Game of Thrones from season 1, people were calling it the incest show. Like they were calling it porn. And they were so dumb because it got famous and then like took over the world until that shitty last season. And yeah, I've seen a lot of comments like dissing on this guy, shitting on him because he's not that famous. But come on, he just won the Golden Globes. He's in a critically acclaimed show. And just because you don't know him doesn't mean his like body of work is like for naught, like worthless. It's not. Guy's a good actor in Richard Jewell. That's the only movie I've seen of him. He was funny in Cobra Kai, and I haven't watched Blackbird yet, but I will give it a shot. Like people would rather watch famous reality shows that are like just trash TV. And this is why we don't get nice things. This is why most shows are shit. And it's because people will overlook quality for big names. Just like some people I know. But yeah, Paul Walter Hauser actually is a wrestling fan, and he like takes a shot at the WWE. He'd rather avoid Connecticut and go straight to Jacksonville, according to him. And you can't call this guy like just like a plain mark, because he is a Hollywood actor, award winner, and he gets paid more than you do. And if like Blackbird, the show, takes off, will be remembered for longer than you will be. So yeah, this guy lives his like dream of like participating in wrestling segments. He flexes about his award, and then he is interrupted by Danhausen, who flexes his status of being the top merch seller in AEW, and he asks for the Golden Globe, which I presume he's gonna pawn off for some monies. Hauser agrees to give the trophy to Hausen, but then in comes Jay Lethal. He enters the ring, but right before he speaks, Hauser buries the shit out of him with his like fan knowledge. He like calls all of Jarrett's shit and like insults him. The best one being Jeff Jarrett not being able to play the guitar that he literally takes everywhere with him. Sanjay tries to start shit, but Hauser takes him out. Like Dutt sells for Hauser, and I love how Dutt is just like this glass, not even a cannon. Man is made out of glass. Like everyone can take him out. Even the refs, even children. And yeah, the refs are like made of glass themselves. So Dutt might be like in the lowest of the low power levels in the entire company. He's like the Yajirobe. Yeah, that's accurate. He's the Yajirobe of AEW. But then Jay Lethal just decks Hauser. Satnam Singh pins Danhausen down. And Jay Lethal just like hit and took out on TV, on live TV for everyone to see him. Like maybe about like 600,000 people this time. He takes out an award-winning actor and they set him up to be hit by a guitar. And I think this is the part when we expect that people are going to make this save. No one famous will ever allow this to happen to themselves, to be hit by a guitar. But Hauser is such a like champion. He's such a G. He's such a baller. And like the Japanese fans who like getting chopped in restaurants or like anywhere, turned up to 10 because Hauser actually gets hit by a guitar. And he just sells it and never gets back up. And just about when the heels are about to take Danhausen out with the trophy that he covets, best friends come out for the save, they drive the heels out, and then the heels pose with the trophy. And I think at the end of the feud, I want Lethal, Jarrett, Singh, and Dutt to win the feud, but they probably won't again. I want Lethal or Jarrett to hold that All-Atlantic Championship. Just for fun, but they probably won't win. And we're probably gonna see Paul Walter Hauser back to claim his Golden Globe. So yeah, segment of the night. This is awesome right here. Great work by Paul Walter Hauser. And I'm going to check out Blackbird on Apple TV. A lot of fake sponsorships for this show. Trillburger and now Blackbird on Apple TV. And after this is a pretty like unsettling, uncomfortable, but appropriate Mark Henry segment. He does his whole thing where he yells, "It's time for the main event!" He does that, but like he's by himself. And it makes sense since it's a street fight. Ruby and Willow attack Tay and Anna like right at the start. At the stage. I cringed a bit at like the get the tables. But I guess it's okay since one half is in Impact. But yeah, the girls like fucking go all the way. They pull no stops and we have like one of the best matches on Rampage in like a year. Or like maybe ever. They have like one of the best uses of like a trash can in wrestling. Because they put Ruby in the trash can. They lay her down. And then Tay Mello goes for the double foot stomp. And it doesn't look like the trash can works as armor because of gravity. But it also works as armor at the same time. And then Ruby can safely blade without being seen in the trash can. Fucking genius. Like the can actually dents. And when it's taken off, Ruby's just bleeding all over the place. I think she overdid it. Willow, I think, was a bit too non-committal at the start. But she does get her groove later on in the match. It's like her strikes and her moves weren't delivered all that convincingly. And as for Ruby, she's just 100% in. Intense from start to finish. From selling to the dishing. The spot with the strike battle on the chairs, like both teams are like seated in front of each other. This is a bit like too indie for me. It does look cool, but it doesn't make much sense. Like the only way I can think about explaining this is that the heels are pretty much ahead since they made Ruby bleed. They've been in control for a while. And I think they can make like room for mistakes. That's the only explanation I can think of. They're like showing off basically. Great storytelling moment is when Anna Jay does like the whole Queen Slayer thing with the barbed wire on her arm, reminiscent of the one she did on the bunny. She does it on Willow, but like clockwork, Ruby goes for the save, and I like the rapid response to this. I like the rapid response by Ruby and then as well as Tay right after. Everyone's just active in the match. And as for the top two spots of the match, like, I'm gonna mention the top two because that's pretty much what's left. And this is like where things go insane. So number 3, it could have been higher, but Willow missed the table. And it's like flying sit-down powerbomb by Willow to Anna off of the stage, ideally to the table below. But instead, like, Willow lands on the table, Anna lands on the floor, and clearly she's hurt. We might not see her for like weeks. That's gotta hurt. Like, you could audibly hear Anna Jay just like moan in pain. So thankfully they're both taken out, leaving Tay and Ruby in the ring. Or on the apron, because Tay goes for a pile driver from the apron to the table. So like Ruby, all bloody and shit, gets pile driver through a table. Fans just chant ECW. I guess that's fine, but honestly, stop it. It's like cringe. And then we get the tacks. Anna Jay pulls out the tacks, pours them all over the floor, and then honorable mention spot. And I think I'm gonna make this the thumbnail because it's so cool. It's when Anna's trying to drive Ruby's face to the tacks, but then Ruby stops her face from heading to the tacks by putting her hands on the tacks. This was pretty sick. The finish is her grabbing the tacks, throwing it on Tay's face. Destination unknown to the tacks for the win. This is spot of the match. And this match is pay-per-view undercard. This is the best women's match of the week. And could be a match of the year candidate if it wasn't for Stardom. Yeah, these like mid-carder women just like outshine the champs in their match. I mean, they're given more room to do things here since it's a street fight, but they outdid everyone here. I think this is the best match of Rampage, and overall, out of like all of AEW programming, I'm putting this right below Mox versus Hangman and just above Konosuke versus Danielson. They did botch the powerbomb here to the table, like down below, but they're still like kayfabe trying to hurt each other. And it did do the job. Like Danielson and Konosuke's botch looked more like an actual spot gone wrong, but yeah, they're kind of even. But yeah, to avoid offending more people than I already did, this is same level as Danielson versus Konosuke. Above it is Mox versus Hangman, and above that is the Escalera de la Muerte. So yeah, post-match is Ruby finally showing Willow respect, and show ends. This might have been the best Rampage that I've reviewed. Like, consistent all throughout the cards, segment-wise, match-wise. It's not just like one thing that happens and the rest is shit. This is like consistent stuff here. So yeah, match rankings are, of course, ascending as the show goes on. So number 1 is the main event. Number 2 is second match. Number 3 is Darby versus Juice. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you check out Blackbird on Apple TV, as well as Trill Burgers. I wish we had Trill Burgers here. So yeah, like, comment, and subscribe for engagement. Share if you don't know me. Hit that bell notification for future videos, and please, watch my shit.